Good Monday morning. Thank you for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get right to your Monday headlines. We are following breaking news from overnight in Oklahoma. Right now, at least 12 people are in the hospital following a mass shooting at a lake party. This is the scene in Edmond, just outside of Oklahoma City, right after 10 p.m. Investigators say two people in masks started shooting at the large group of young people gathered there. No arrests have been made. Right now, union workers in Chisago County are lining up for their first full week on strike. More than 150 employees will hit the picket line before a big meeting tonight. Let's get right out to Megan McPherson at the Chisago County Government Center with a closer look at their demands.
That strike has just began here. It actually began last Friday, but dozens of workers are back out here this morning outside of the Chisago County Government Center this morning. I'll let you take a look behind me here. Now, really what's at the center of this is health insurance costs, but also the workers here this morning tell me that they are protesting what they call worsening working conditions, and they also are seeking better use of existing funds. But the county asserts that it's offered a competitive package and has implemented contingency plans as well. Now, Teamsters Local 320, that is the union representing between 170 to 200 employees. They work in both the Health and Human Services Department and within the government center here. That also includes staff in both of those departments. And again, they're citing concerns over rising health insurance costs, and they also have that desire for the county to use those funds in a different way. But again, the county states that they have offered these workers a competitive 2-year contract package. They've also deemed this strike as unnecessary, but these workers tell me that they will be out here throughout this week. They just started and they will be out here. I believe that the shift is technically from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., but they will sort of be out here on different shifts until they can come to some sort of agreement with the county. And the county has also activated contingency plans here to make sure that the services within the government center continue to operate while these workers are on strike. I did also ask these workers if they have any plans to chat with county leaders this week to see if they can try to come to some sort of agreement or just really go to the drawing board and discuss how they're going to resolve this sort of standstill as far as negotiations go. There is a county board meeting that is set for this Wednesday, but until then, these workers say that they will be out here really just sort of trying to show the county that they're taking a stand, and they will continue to do so until the county meets them where they're at and listens to their concerns. Back to you.
Megan, thank you. This morning, a large black scar is all that's left of a big grass fire in the city of Ramsey. It was first reported around noon yesterday as the fire burned in a wetland around some homes. Video from Sky 11 shows at least one home with extensive fire damage, but fire officials have not said if that started the grass fire or if the fire spread to the home.
I was at the gym north of here and started heading south, and I thought my house was on fire. I heard it was a house fire, and I got here and it was to the west over there, but wind took off and started this whole swamp on fire. Yeah. Oh, in my backyard I did, yeah. Turned on the sprinklers in the back just in case.
Now, crews used a helicopter to dump water on the fire. Neighbors also grabbed hoses to protect their own homes. Right now, the cause is under investigation. Developing this morning, former Metro Transit Police Chief Ernest Morales has given up his peace officer license. That bars him from ever being a police officer in Minnesota again. This comes nearly 2 years after Morales resigned. According to court documents, several women reported him for sexual harassment, including one employee who said Morales called her a, quote, MILF. Documents also say he told 2 officers that a particular employee used sex to advance her career. Morales denies all the allegations, but agreed to surrender his license to avoid a contested case hearing. This morning, a case against former DHS Director Kristi Noem will be back in court for a hearing. Susan Tincher and 5 other Twin Cities residents are suing Noem and other federal officials. They allege immigration agents acted to suppress their voices by abducting U.S. citizens and holding them for hours. And right now, Representative Angie Craig is in El Paso. She's there to meet with one of her constituents, Andrea Pedro Francisco, who's in an ICE detention center and is dealing with an untreated ovarian cyst. She was captured by ICE while on her way to work in early February. Craig says she's trying to get Andrea released on humanitarian parole. Developing this morning, a new plan to get neutral ships through the Strait of Hormuz in the Middle East. President Trump calling the plan Project Freedom. The U.S. military is helping guide ships through the strait after new threats from Iran. Alice Barr has details from Washington.
Hi there. President Trump is calling the new plan a humanitarian gesture because he says many of these ships are running low on food. But in a new message this morning, a top Iranian military leader suggested Project Freedom could lead to a dramatic escalation in the Strait of Hormuz.
In a new bid to free up global shipping, President Trump announcing that beginning this morning, the U.S. will guide out ships that are trapped in the Strait of Hormuz so they can freely and ably get on with their business, noting the ships are from neutral countries not involved in the war that asked for help. The president calling it Project Freedom, and overnight U.S. Central Command said 15,000 American service members will help, using more than 100 land and sea-based aircraft. Pressed about the potential for new strikes against Iran, President Trump said that if they misbehave,
it's a possibility that could happen, certainly.
That as he sent a letter to Congress arguing a 1973 law requiring congressional approval to continue military operations after 60 days does not apply because of the ongoing ceasefire, despite American warships still enforcing a blockade on Iranian ports.
Well, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it.
Democrats pushing back.
The language of the statutes does not provide for timeouts like in a football game.
It's important to recognize this war was unlawful and unconstitutional from the start.
The administration defending its approach and the blockade's economic pressure on Iran.
We are suffocating the regime.
Though Americans are also feeling the pain of higher gas prices. President Trump has so far rejected Iran's offer to reopen the strait in exchange for the U.S. ending the blockade. The president saying any deal must include an agreement to prevent an Iranian nuclear weapon.
In rapid developments this morning, Iran's military command warned foreign forces, especially from the U.S., will be subjected to attack if they approach or enter the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media later claimed Iranian forces stopped a U.S. destroyer from entering the strait, though the U.S. military said no U.S. Navy ships had been struck. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Turning now to the Wild. After a disappointing loss in Colorado in the Round 2 series opener, Minnesota falling to the Avalanche late last night, 9-6. Now, despite last night's loss, head coach John Hynes is confident the team can clean things back up before they're back on the ice tomorrow night. They will be without Joel Eriksson Ek once again, who's out through Game 2 with a lower body injury. So the series heads to Minnesota on Saturday. If you want to support the team in person at Grand Casino Arena, tickets are still available. We just checked. The cheapest prices we're seeing $327. A little bit pricey to be in the building, but worth it. Over on the hardwood, the Wolves are waking up in San Antonio where they take on the Spurs tonight in Game 1 of the semifinals. Lots of talk surrounding Anthony Edwards, who's there with the team right now. Ant has been out with a bone bruise on his left knee, but yesterday he was upgraded to questionable. This is video of him practicing this weekend before heading to Texas. Moving around pretty well, I would say. We'll see if he returns when Game 1 tips off at 8:30. In this morning's Communities at Care, a big welcome in Princeton. Rough Start Rescue just took in 25 pups from Texas, part of a life-saving mission to give these dogs a fresh start. Photojournalist Jason Meyer was there.
Today we're doing a transport from Texas.
Can you all let them in?
We have, I think, approximately 25 to 30 pups coming in.
It's a little chaotic right off the bat.
I know it's scary. It's okay.
So our wonderful volunteers kind of are dedicated to one dog at a time, and will take that dog and see what it needs and then just kind of get it settled.
Do we need a belly rub before we do that? Yeah. There we go.
It's a lot of excitement when they come off the van. They get a little food, water, potty, and then we fit them. So they get a lot of love. It's absolute joy when we actually pass them off to their foster or foster to adopt home, the ones who have said, yes, I'd like to adopt this dog.
I am adopting a transfer from Texas. I saw the rescue on TV and I started looking at the dogs that needed a home and sent it to my husband, and she just spoke to me. She needed a place to go. Wonderful, thank you.
Oh, congratulations, have fun.
Thanks for everything you guys do.
You're welcome.
They are an amazing organization. You can learn more about Rough Start Rescue and see adoptable dogs at roughstartrescue.org. Make sure you stick with us. More news and weather right after the break.